Primetime Deion Sanders is making the case to be Coach of the Year. I don't think anybody's noticed this or not. But when you consider what was projected, how they are, they were projected to finish 11th? People were wondering whether or not they were going to win 3 or 4 games. They 4-1. They're 4-1 right now.
There he is, the mouth of the South, Paul Finebaum. Hi, Paul. Just go ahead, Paul.
Well, first of all, Stephen A., you're close to being right. And this is where I say to you, I should have kept my mouth shut a couple weeks ago. But I came after you. I came after Prime. And here I am scraping the egg off of my face. And I'm glad to be doing it because this is a fascinating story. And what happened last week down in Florida was really the first time, I think, since Prime has been at Colorado that this looked like a legitimate football team. They didn't beat a great team, but they beat a good team, coached by Gus Malzahn, who's played for the national championship. So if they can continue on this path, now, I'm not issuing qualifiers, I'm just saying if, then Stephen A., I think your story about Coach of the Year is dead on.
Well, I appreciate that, Paul. Thank you so much. I mean, it's very, very big of you, but I think we need to elaborate on what you're apologizing for. Not only were you talking about Deion Sanders, you accused me of being subservient to the man. And, you were so disappointed in me and said that I should turn in, my journalism and commentator badge. You said all of this other stuff. So let's remind the people the blasphemy that was coming out of your mouth to the degree that it was. Having said that, I'm not going to rub it in. I appreciate you being a big man about it. I applaud that, all right? In the end, here's what it comes down to. The jury is still out. There are things to accomplish. But what we're seeing from Deion Sanders may end up being one of the top 2 quarterbacks taking in this upcoming NFL draft in the spring. What we're seeing in Travis Hunter is a dude that may win the Heisman because he's that damn special, okay? And he's my favorite right now to win the Heisman. And what we're seeing in primetime Deion Sanders, again, it's not about you being Alabama or Georgia or something like that. It's about us looking at Colorado and saying, how good is this team going to be? They were projected to finish like 11th. They're 4-1 right now. They keep playing like this. They go to a bowl game. They win about 8 or 9 games. Deion Sanders is going to be a candidate for Coach of the Year.
And rightfully so. I had a conversation with him after he won the game, and he came on the show Stephen A. on Sunday night.
Yep.
And we talked about him, and I said, I tweeted that I think this was Colorado's most complete game. When you look at their ability to run the football, you look at what they did at stopping the run early on in the game, you look at how they protected Shedeur, look how they attacked the other quarterback on both sides of the football. This was Colorado's most impressive win to me, in my estimation, since Prime has been there. And so when you play like that, and that's what you need to do, because early on, they played North Dakota State. I'm like, how do you expect to win the game if you can't run the football, but you can't stop the opposing team from running it? You can't protect your quarterback, but you can't attack the opposing team's quarterback. That's a recipe for a disastrous season. They've kind of turned that around. The guys now, you look at, they sacked the quarterback 5 or 6 times. They did a great job of protecting Shedeur, and we know with protection, he's going to find his receivers because he has some really, really good receivers. They ran the football. They shut down the run for the most part, but I thought this was his most impressive win since he's been at Colorado. They're off this week, and then they play K-State. K-State, I don't know if people out there are following K-State, but they got a good team.
Right.
They beat K-State at home. Oh, he's going to have the country's undivided attention. I can assure you of that.
I know.
And Shannon, there's a good chance they will because the Big 12 is topsy-turvy right now. And there are a lot of wins on that schedule that I didn't think were possible a couple of weeks ago. Utah has some problems as well. So, Stephen A., back to what you said a minute ago. As you look at the schedule here, I don't say Arizona. Oklahoma State has lost a couple of times. There's no place on this schedule he can't win. So I think the talk of them getting to the championship game of the Big 12 is realistic. And should they do that, if they win, they're in the playoffs. And I know that sounds like a pipe dream a couple of weeks ago, but I want to say one thing about what Stephen A. said about me, Shannon. You know how tough it is to have to apologize to Stephen A. Smith? I not only did it here on national television in front of millions of people, I did it in person. And he didn't even make me get down on my knees and beg for forgiveness. I mean, he accepted the apology like a man. He just kind of he shipped me away. You know, get away from me, son. But I mean, I don't know what else I can do.
I wish we had that on
bow
camera.
down to the great Stephen A. Smith.
Oh,
You know,
my
when
goodness.
you're right, you're right. You know, that's all I'm saying. That's
All right, we got to
we
leave
all
it there.
good.
Colorado has 11-1 odds to make the playoffs, and Travis Hunter's second best odds to win the Heisman. We'll have that discussion another day. Paul, you're the best. Appreciate you kindly.